Hey everyone, this is Johnny G and Friends from Panavista Records. Today we have a very special guest in the studio, Mr. Luke Johnson.
Hello,
Luke,
everyone.
hello. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me, John.
Luke is our producer for Panavista Records, for Johnny G and Friends. Luke is a skilled musician, guitarist, pianist, music teacher. He owns Eden Studios, and he is just a tremendous all-around guy, and also just an extremely talented musician. So, Luke, after that introduction, we can just sign off, everyone. Thank you very much.
Well, it's great being here. I appreciate it.
Hey, Luke, we are really glad that you're here on the show tonight. And so I want to ask you a little bit about yourself for the audience to get to know you. And the first thing is, when did you first start getting into music?
Well, my dad was a big lover of music, so I listened to. I can remember the first record I ever listened to. I had a little plastic record player, and my dad gave me a little 33 of Johnny Rivers.
Ah, yeah.
So
Great.
my first real kind of memory of music is that Johnny Rivers album that I just played over and over and over. And my dad was a big lover of music from his childhood. You know, the 50s, 60s, that kind of thing. Like doo-wop. My dad was a huge doo-wop fan, so
Sure.
we listened to the oldie station, Chubby
Great
Checker.
harmonies.
Yeah, Chubby Checker, Frankie Valli, that kind of stuff. So that's what my early childhood was basically listening to all the time. Then
So
I
when
got
did you first pick up an instrument?
middle school band. I took a few guitar lessons when I was a little kid, but it didn't really stick. In middle school band, I got really interested in playing trombone. And my band director said, "Here, check out this album right here. I think you might like it," because he saw that I'd kind of become interested in music. And he hands me Miles Davis' "Kinda Blue."
Oh, wow.
And
Wow. What a great way to start.
yeah, so I took it home. I listened to it, and it was I was hooked. I went back the next day, and I was like, "Everything you have like that, I'll take it."
That's
So
great.
yeah, so he sent me home with
So,
a whole bunch of
so
stuff
did
after
you
that.
have a band or join a band when you were in high school?
I did. A good friend of mine, Kenny Lewis, and we had a band called the Ken Dog and Luke Jazz Development.
What a great name.
And we pretty much just jammed on two chords for 5 hours,
Sure.
and we'd go out and we'd play the local little spots where I grew up down in South Georgia, and we'd go down to the park, and they'd have little events, down by the where the water comes up out of the ground, the
Hmm.
little kids playing in it. We'd set up speakers, the splash pad. We'd set up speakers next to the splash pad and entertain all of the 4-year-olds, and yeah, we had a great time.
So now you've written a bunch of songs, and what is your process of writing?
Uh, I wouldn't say I've written a bunch of songs. I've written a few songs, but the ones that I have written, I'm a music first. Being an instrumentalist, really, I've never considered myself a singer, even though I sing. I'm an instrumentalist, so I always hear the music. I always hear the harmonies first, which I heard interview with Paul Simon. He's the same way. He never writes the lyrics first.
Hmm.
Always. So pretty much for me, I will have a fully drafted instrumental track before I ever start lyrics.
Does the tune just kind of pop up in your head, or how does that work?
It's usually, for me, it's usually chords. I don't usually think melody as much as I do harmony. I usually can think chord progressions, and then a melody will just kind of present itself from that. That's usually
Now, I
my
know
process.
you're a really good keyboardist, but I know also you've played guitar. We've played guitars together. Um,
You're being very generous calling me a good keyboardist.
Well, I've listened to you, man.
I
You
consider
are.
my
You're very by the way, for our audience, you're also an extremely humble man.
I appreciate it.
You know, I know your wife. She's probably the vocalist in the family. She loves to sing, and you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, you are very talented, brother.
Appreciate it.
So, which instruments do you like the best? I mean, you just mentioned you play trombone, you play the horns, keyboard, guitar. What's your favorite instrument?
A guitar is, I would say guitar is probably the thing I'm most comfortable. Like, you know, if I'm going to go out and declare myself a professional musician, it's as a guitar player. I dabble in the rest.
Okay. Um, Now I'm going to start back at your roots back in Atlanta when you were working with Sleepy Wolf Productions. What got you into the technical aspect, the recording of music?
Well, it wasn't in Atlanta. Sleeping with Productions is a company started by Michael Youngblood up in Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
I apologize for that. I thought it was Atlanta.
No. My wife and I, we spent 4 years up in Asheville, and just outside of Asheville is a little town called Maggie Valley. And Michael, who has been the longtime lead guitar player for the Indigo Girls, has a studio there called Sleeping with Productions. And I was very much into playing music at the time, but then I thought that I might be interested in doing some recording. So I called up Michael and I said, "Hey, I'd like a job at your studio." And he said, "No, I don't have any positions available." He said, "But if you want to, you can just come be a fly on the wall, and I won't pay you, but you can just come hang out." I was like, "Great, let's do it." So I walk in, and he's mixing an Indigo Girls record.
Wow.
But
What a great start, right?
first day I met him, I walk in the control room and he's like, "Oh, I'm just finishing up mixing the Indigo Girls." I was like, "Oh, great. That's cool.
Okay.
I'm in the right place." He said, "I want you to come back next week because we're going to be recording Tony Rice and Peter Rowan." I was like,
Man.
"That's great." Yeah. They did an album a couple years ago called Rowan and Rice. And most of it was recorded in Nashville, but for some reason they did just a couple tracks out at Michael's studio. And Michael
Well,
said,
you know, every studio has a little bit of a different sound.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. But I think it was mostly logistics why they were doing it. They were both on tour and they just happened to be passing each other
Mm-hmm.
in Maggie Valley, and that's the reason they swung in. But they sent over this really, really long rider for Tony Rice. You know, it's like, Tony will not play if the microphones aren't set up this very specific way. So they had a diagram and everything. So I'm out there in the control room, in the live room, and I've got a tape measure and I'm measuring off I've got his chair set perfect. I've got his drink there. I've got all the microphones measured. He comes in, he sits down with his guitar. He pushes the mic that I had set up out of the way, grabs the other mic and just kind of puts it in front of his guitar and says, "All right, let's go." I was like, "Oh, well, they told me that you you weren't going to play unless it was a certain way."
What did he say?
He was like, "Yeah, whatever. Let's just go." He didn't even, like, his management had no idea that he didn't even care. They tried to make it out like it was some big deal, but he really didn't care at all. He was such a sweet guy, such a nice guy. Talk about singers. Peter Rowan is one of those people to me that, like, when you watch him do a take, it's not a matter of did he do anything wrong. It's just like, which awesome vocal take should we choose from? It's the challenge becomes picking which awesome take to get,
Mm-hmm.
What
a great luxury, right?
Oh man, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Such an incredible.
So you got the bug. The bug bit you about recording. So lead us into, you now own Eden Productions, Eden Studio.
Okay. Well,
Tell us about that.
Sure. So after about 4 years of working up there in North Carolina, we moved back to Atlanta, which is where my wife is from. And I had acquired some equipment at this time, just kind of a basement studio kind of guy. And I was a huge Grateful Dead fan. Am a huge Grateful Dead fan. And there's a place that Jerry Garcia sings about a lot of time called Fenario. It's kind of like this. If you look at the history of it, it's a battle that happened over in Scotland. But anyway, I named the company Fenario Productions. And
Cool.
yeah. And I was doing live production. I was working with with some people around town, doing some live shows, doing some recording under the name Fenario Productions, and I did that for about 10 years. And then we moved into a new building. We changed the name of the company. We called it the West Georgia Arts Conservatory.
Kind of a fancy name there.
It's fancy, and I think the fancy name kind of hurt us because people like, this is kind of uppity up.
It's putting out a little bit different vibe.
Yeah, it is. So after that, we decided, you know what, we're gonna just call it Eden Studios. Because everything is right in the Garden of Eden. So we just we thought that that would be a relaxing, put people at ease and give them a sense of relaxation.
Well, it's funny you should say that on that story, because that's actually how I chose your studio. I was looking, online at different studios in the area, and I saw the name Eden Studio with that cool tree. And I thought, that's just like you said, that's very comforting, the Garden of Eden, Eden Studios. And then, I got a hold of you, and then, it just worked out fantastic. And especially for us, man. We tell everyone, I hope that other musicians will listen to this and understand that as musicians, we're a family, and you support one another and help one another. And I hope they contact you, Eden Studios. You're fantastic to work with. So easygoing. And the cool thing about you and your studio is that you put the musicians first. It's, from the moment you step in, you go, hey, what do you want to do? Let's do, it's all about the musician, and egos are all put aside, and, it's about putting out quality work. And so I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate your work and appreciate your studio. It's fantastic.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, John. That's exactly what I try to go for. I at the end of the day, here it is. It's like, I didn't write the songs. I mean, sometimes I did, but I for the most part, I didn't write the songs. I didn't play the parts. I'm not the one that's going to have to live with it for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So my ultimate goal is to make sure that the people that did write the songs, the people that did play the parts, and the people who are going to have to live with it for the rest of their life are completely satisfied. Because
Absolutely.
So that's kind of that's the approach of my business right there. I just try to make sure that I can be a vessel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're on this side of the river, and they'd really like to get to that side of the river, but they don't have a boat. Well, I have a boat.
That's right, man.
It's
a great analogy.
Yeah, and I try to just help them get to the other side, as best that I can. That's really my goal.
So I'm going to change directions just a tad here and ask you about, has COVID, it's affected, everyone this whole last year, has it affected you and your studio?
Yeah, absolutely. I have turned down more work this year than I ever thought I would ever have to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with any kind of service business, when you turn down work, you're not just turning down that one job. You're turning down everyone that they talk to. Oh, he's not available, or whatever. It's just, or maybe you tell somebody something like, you know what, cases are really bad right now. Everybody's closed down. The mayor has decreed that we shouldn't get together. The president, whoever has, issued that decree, I can't get together right now, but I tell you what, in 3 months or so, as soon as this thing opens up, we'll get back together. And they never come back.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas
it's affected, like you said, private businesses, small,
mm-hmm.
large, but especially the small business guy. Like you said, it's word of mouth. It's
mm-hmm.
It's more of a, touchy-feely friendship type of thing. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tough when the conditions make it where you can't
Yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
that little personal touch, and you know, and that's what your hope. I mean, that's what the business thrives on.
Well,
And
and you know, all of the research shows that the most dangerous thing to do is to be in close proximity to somebody singing. That's what I do.
yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
the nature of my business just happens to put me right in the right in harm's way of what they consider to be the most dangerous thing that one could possibly do.
Well, listen, I can't thank you again. It's great, the insight we got listening to you tonight. We really appreciate you being part of the family of Johnny G and Friends. I mean, it's just great having you around and seeing you and talking to you and recording at your studio. I always feel it's, you know, getting the best professional touch, man, when we go to Eden Studios. It's fantastic. And working with you is always a joy, brother. So I thank you so much.
Well, I thank you too, John. I really appreciate those kind words, man. Because you know, like I said before, my ultimate goal is that you leave happy. You know,
Well,
and that you feel that, you know, your music has been respected.
well, you always make us do that, so I really appreciate it. And anything else you'd like to share tonight before we leave?
No, just keep on making music, everybody. Don't let this COVID. You know, like I told my kids, you know, I'm also a middle school teacher. We left that out. I teach middle school band, and I've been forced to Zoom every day, 3 times a day with all of my classes. And like I told them, I said, you know what, we've been given lemons. We've made we've made some lemonade. So just keep
Made
on
some lemonade and
just
made the best of the deal.
just keep on making that lemonade, everybody.
Well, Luke, we just can't thank you enough for being on the show tonight. And before we leave, is there any song of ours that we recorded at your studio that you'd like us to play tonight?
My favorite song of the Johnny G and Friends, I think, that we've done is when we chopped up Brett George's song "Little Sparrow." Hands down,
Oh,
my
man.
favorite song.
Thank you. I love that song too. Brett's just a real catchy little songwriter, and he does the music on that and the vocals, and so great. Well, we'll put
Yeah.
that on there. Thanks, Luke.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me. Keep on making music, everybody.
All right, brother, and we'll see you on another day. And everyone, thank you so much from Johnny G and Friends, and y'all have a great week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Fly, little sparrow, and fly away over the walls made of stone that keeps the sea at bay. In the city by the shore, for you there's nothing more. 'Cause over the walls made of stone, there's a world to explore. So fly high, higher than you've ever flown. Promise me that you'll send your love in songs and letters back home. So fly high, sing your song from above. And that way I'll know you've returned when the air is filled with love. Fly, little sparrow, fly away over the walls made of stone that keeps the sea at bay. In the city by the shore, for you there's nothing more. 'Cause over the walls made of stone, there's a world to explore. So fly high, higher than you've ever flown. Promise me that you'll send your love in songs and letters back home. So fly high, sing your song from above. And that way I'll know you've returned when the air is filled with love. So fly high, higher than you've ever flown. Promise me that you'll send your love in songs and letters back home. So fly high, sing your song from above. And that way I'll know you've returned when the air is filled with love.
I didn't know what I was looking for. You found me. I didn't know what I was looking for. You found me. I didn't know what I was looking for. I feel the falling beat of every broken heart. If only love would intervene when we feel apart. I know we have a chance to keep a strong romance every night of every day of every moment. What can I say? I love you.
You found me. I didn't know what I was looking for. You found me. I didn't know what I was looking for. You found me. I didn't know what I was looking for.
I feel the falling beat of every broken heart. If only love would intervene when we feel apart. I know we have a chance to keep a strong romance every night of every day of every moment. What can I say?